day everyone. So in this video, we're going to tackle about self in various perspective. But before that, I am Sherwin Apan Moncada, business and student of the University of Eastern Philippines main campus. Have you ever asked yourself, or have you ever wondered, what is self? In this video, we're going to explore the different philosophers and their theories about self. Are you ready? So let's start. What is self? Well, self has no definite definition. It's being defined based on the aspect or perspective it is being used. Like, is it in philosophical perspective or psychological perspective? So, the definition of self is nakabase in which context or perspective it is being used. For example, if it is in philosophy, the self refers to an individual's knowledge and values. Ibig sabihin, self is composed of the knowledge of the person and its values. While in psychological, it is seen as subject and object. Subject is the I self. Object is the me self. What's the difference between the two? I self is the knower or active knower self. It is the thinker self or your inner self. It has the ability to rationalize or to think, while the me self is the aspect that can be observed or evaluated. Ibig sabihin, it's your physical self, the one that is being seen physically. So that's the me and I self. So now, let's proceed to those philosophers and their theories. First, we have David Humes. David Humes was a Scottish philosopher, historian, and economist. David Humes posits the bundle theory, which states that self is just a bundle of perception of thoughts or feelings. Hume introduced the bundle theory, which conceptualizes the self as a collection of perception or experiences. When we say perception, pananaw. Remember that perception is subjective. Perception are subjective. Ibig sabihin, maaaring sa akin ay maganda or magaling siya. But for you, it may be not good. So, the bundle theory states that self is composed of perception. Self is being is composed of perception. Ibig sabihin, perceptions are constantly changing. So, David Humes believed that there is no it is a set of without assuming underlying substance. Ibig sabihin, self has no definite, but rather self is a set of perceptions, of thoughts and feelings. That was David Hume's theory, the bundle theory. So now let's proceed to Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant has two aspect when it comes to self. First, we have the nominal self or the homo noumenon. This represents the true essence of a person, which is beyond sensory experience. The nominal self is considered the rational or the inner self capable of making ethical decisions. Phenomenal self or the homo phenomenon refers to the self as it appears in the empirical world, shaped by sensory experiences and external influences. On the other hand, it is the physical self. Okay, so let's rationalize the two. First, we have the nominal self. When we say nominal self, it is your inner self, the one that has the ability, the capability to think, to rationalize. It is not based on the sensory experiences, but rather it is based on the thinking, the cognitive of a person. It is the true essence. While on the other hand, phenomenal self or the homo phenomenon is the physical self. It is based on your sensory experiences, based on your sight, hear, taste, smell, and feel. It's sensory experiences. So that is Immanuel Kant dual self theory. Now, let's proceed to Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud has believed that um, brain or cognitive or self has three structures. We have the id, ego, and superego. So the id is the most primitive part of personality, present from birth and operates on the pleasure principle. Ibig sabihin, simula pa lang nung pinanganak ka, andyan na sa'yo yung id. It is the most primitive part. It is based on the pleasure principle, seeking immediate gratification or satisfaction. For example, such as hunger, sex, and aggression, without regard for reality. While on contrary, ego is being developed galing kay id, and its function is based on the reality principle, mediating between the id's desire and the constraint of the external world. Ibig sabihin, kung yung id mo ay nasa pleasure principle, the ego is on the reality principle. While the superego represents the internalized moral standards and ideals often shaped by parental and societal influences, it generates feelings of guilt or shame when behavior conflicts. This one is the moral, excuse me. This one is the moral standard. Ibig sabihin, for example, you are considering to buy a new phone, but you already had one. You already have one. So let's say an iPhone brand releases a new unit or version of their iPhone. So just to feel included in our society or to feel validated, you try to buy that phone just because you want to sabay sa uso, sa trend. So your id is not considering the reality, which is it seeks the one, the pleasure, the satisfaction that you want to feel, the validation that you want to feel. Well, the ego will try to rationalize based on the reality. If if kailangan ko ba to na phone? If do I need to buy this phone? Do I really need this phone, or is it just the one to satisfy my desires? Well, the superego will feel sudden guilt, maaring mag-guilty ka or mahiya ka, pero maaari ring masatisfy ka based on the action that you've done. So kung if you still buy the phone, maaring ma-feel mo na satisfied ka. Pero the reality is you don't need the phone. You just want to feel validated. So that's the id, ego, and superego of Sigmund Freud theory. Now let's proceed to Gilbert Ryle. The concept, the concept of self. Ryle proposed that the self should not be viewed as a distinct non-physical substance, but rather a collection of behaviors and disposition. He argued that the mental states are better understood as a disposition to behave in certain ways, rather than as separate entities. For example, saying someone is kind means they have a disposition to act kindly in various situations, rather than possessing an immaterial kindness that exists independently of their action. Kumbaga, you just act kind kasi pakitang tao. Pero, hindi talaga sa kaloob-looban mo na kind ka, mabait ka. Rell's critique of Cartesian dualism, Gilbert's drive prominent in the 20th century, he is a philosopher during the 20th century, challenged the traditional Cartesian view of the self, which possessed the distinct separation between the mind and the body. In his influential work, The Concept of Mind, 1949, Rell famously critiqued this dualism, coining the phrase of the ghost of the machine, erroneous belief that the mind exists as a separate entity controlling the body. He argued that this perspective leads to a category mistake where mental processes are. Next, Maurice Merleau-Ponty. Merleau-Ponty embodied subjectivity. Merleau-Ponty argues that the self is not merely mental construct but fundamental tied to physical body. He posits that the body is not just an object but houses the mind. Big sabihin, our body is not just some object but it is an essential part of the consciousness self. It is an essential part to feel. It is an essential part of your body to consciously know something. According to Merleau-Ponty, perception is an active engagement with the world, and our bodily is an active engagement, and our bodily experiences shape our understanding of self and reality. So Merleau-Ponty argues that the self is not a merely mental construct, but is a fundamental tie to our physical existence. It posits that our body is essential to our experiences of world. So our body is a medium, is a way, is a tool to feel, to experience the world, and our perceptions are deeply rooted in our bodily interactions with our environment. This perspective challenges traditional views that the body asserting that self is emerges from interplay between our physical being and conscious experiences. So that is self. Now, we're done. Thank you for listening. That's all for the day.